Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm showing you an amazing way to apply your vinyl so that it's lined up correctly every single time. This is called the Hinge method. I'm not sure who came up with this method and it's been around a long time, but I wanted to share because it is such a game changer. I especially like using this when lining up designs on signs. I'll show you how I do this with my Easter sign. Here's my vinyl pieces I'll be adding to the sign. This method works great for spacing the bunnies evenly and straight. First, I'm going to apply Easter to the board. I peel off the clear transfer tape and place it over the word. I scrape it down really well on the front and the back. Normally when I remove transfer tape, I remove the backing of the vinyl instead of pulling from the top. But with this method, you have to pull the clear part of the transfer paper up from the top. After I scrape it down well, I actually test to make sure my vinyl letters will pick up onto the transfer tape. After pulling it up, I place it back down. This step you don't have to do, but I think it helps to make sure your vinyl's stuck onto the transfer tape. I place the Easter vinyl on the board, then grab my ruler to line it up. I love this clear Cricut ruler. I get so much use out of it. I would recommend a clear type of ruler like this to line up your vinyl. I centered Easter on the board. I wanted the same distance on each side, and that ended up being 4.25 inches. I used my ruler to make sure it was in the correct spot. Here, I'm just making sure that it is 4.25 inches away from the frame also. Next, I make sure Easter is straight and not crooked. Then I place blue painter's tape going down the center of the word. With the normal way of applying vinyl, you would remove the backing of the vinyl and place the vinyl along with the clear transfer tape down on the board. But if you mess it up, you can't redo it. Now that I have the tape down, I can go back in with my ruler and make sure my vinyl is still in the correct spot. As you can see here, I checked again with my ruler and it measured 4.25 inches on both sides, so it was where it should be. I did adjust Easter a little to straighten it out. With the backing still applied, you can easily move the vinyl since it's not stuck down yet. Next, I pull up my vinyl along with my transfer tape on the left side, and I take my scissors and cut off the backing. Then I place the vinyl along with the transfer tape back onto the board and scrape it down with my scraper tool. After that, I pull up the other side and remove the backing. As I remove it, I slowly place the rest of the vinyl down onto the board and scrape that side down as well. Now I can remove my blue painter's tape and the clear transfer tape. Next, I'll add the bunnies and follow the same process. I figured out that I wanted my two outer bunnies to be 1.5 inches away from the frame of the board. I chose the same distance so it would be in the center. As you can see, I accidentally set this bunny at 1.75 inches from the side. I'll show how I go back and change that in a second. I decided I was able to space the inside bunnies 1.25 inches apart from each other. As you can see here, the pink bunny didn't line up right, so I had to go back and adjust all the bunnies, but they ended up being 1.5 inches from the outside of the board and 1.25 inches apart from each other. Now I'm ready to use the Hinge method with the yellow bunny. I apply my clear transfer tape and scrape it down really well. As you can see, it wasn't picking up the vinyl, so I needed to scrape the backing down again, and that's kind of why I tested out this way. Then I line it up on my board and make sure it is 1.5 inches from the side. I also measured the top and decided to do 1.25 inches from the top outer frame. Now that I have that centered, I place my painter's tape down. The painter's tape is great for making sure this stays in the spot that you measured it at. Then I made sure my measurements were still correct. Since they were, I followed the same process of removing the backing of the top part, cutting it off, and placing the vinyl down on the board. Then I removed the bottom backing and placed that part of the vinyl on the board. Once that's done, I remove the clear transfer tape and that vinyl piece is done. I followed the same process for the next bunny, making sure it is spaced 1.25 inches away from the yellow bunny, and follow the same process with the hinge method. I'll speed this part up a little bit, then I'll show you what happens when I don't have it on correctly. With this one, I had it all lined up and taped down, and as you can see, I had it spaced 1.5 inches apart instead of 1.25 inches. If I had just placed the vinyl straight down on the board, it would have been stuck in that spot, but since I still have the backing on, I was able to adjust it and check the measurement again. That would have ruined the project since the rest of the bunnies wouldn't have lined up correctly, so that's why the hinge method is so awesome. Here I'm just applying the last bunny, and as you can see, it's lining up right at 1.5 inches from the frame. As you can see, the vinyl is lined up exactly centered and where it should be on the board. This method is amazing for lining up your vinyl. Like I said, I especially like it for signs, but it can be great for adding vinyl to tumblers, cups, or other blanks. If you have any questions on how this works, let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer. I feel like this method can look a little intimidating, but once you try it out, you might find out that it's actually a lot easier than it looks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you subscribed if you are new to my channel, and I hope you have a great day.